Today we are going to be looking at 1 Nephi chapter 4 verses 20 through 25. And after I had done this, I went forth unto the treasury of Laban, and as I went forth towards the treasury of Laban, behold, I saw the servant of Laban who had the keys of the treasury. And I commanded him in the voice of Laban, and he should go with me to the treasury, and he supposed me to be his master Laban, for he beheld the garments and also the sword girded about my loins, and he spake unto me concerning the elders of the Jews, he knowing that his master Laban had been out by night among them, and I spake unto him as if it had been Laban, and I also spake unto him that I should carry the engravings which were on the plates of brass to my elder brethren who were without the walls, and I also bade him that he should follow me. We're going to talk about this. Why would Nephi bid Zoram to follow him? Alright, we are going to look at the hypothesis that Zoram was a Levite. So what do we know about the Levites? They were needed to perform certain duties and functions as part of the law. A lot of this involved sacrifices and offerings, especially burnt offerings. They were not given a land of inheritance, so they were mixed in among all of the other Israelites. They often lived in the households of Jews and performed the duties for the tribe of Judah. They were also in charge of the treasuries. Remember how many times Nephi said treasuries in the last section of verses that we just read. See 1 Chronicles 26:20, and of the Levites, Ahiah had charge of the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries of the dedicated gifts. So this was the responsibility of the Levites, that they would be in charge of the treasuries. They would often live in the households of the Jews. See Judges 17, where we see the example of Micah bringing in a Levite to perform the duties and to be in charge of his treasury. Alright, so why would Nephi ask Zoram to follow him? Look at verse 23, and he spake unto him as if it had been Laban. 24, and I also spake unto him that I should carry the engravings which were upon the plates of brass to my elder brethren who were without the walls. 25, and I also bade him that he should follow me. So, if you're Nephi here, you just murdered Laban. I think your natural instinct would be you got the plates. Your next instinct would be to get in a dead sprint to get away from everybody. Get Zoram out of there. You got what you needed from Zoram. If he's willing to leave or go somewhere else, let him go somewhere else. But no, Nephi's begging him or baiting him that he should follow him. Well, why is it so important to Nephi that Zoram follows him? Well, is it possible that they needed a Levite with them to be able to perform ordinances involved in the law of Moses outside of Jerusalem? Look at the difference in their sacrifices before Zoram and after Zoram. Before Zoram, they get 3 days away, 3 days journey away from Jerusalem. And it says, and it came to pass that he built an altar of stones, he being Lehi, and made an offering unto the Lord, and gave thanks unto the Lord. So he built the offer of stones, he gave an offering, sounds like a verbal offering, giving thanks to the Lord, saying a prayer of deliverance and gratitude. After, in 5:9, and it came to pass that they did rejoice exceedingly, and did offer sacrifice and burnt offerings unto the Lord. And they gave thanks unto the God of Israel. So not until after they get Zoram do they include the sacrifices of and burnt offerings unto the Lord. Because now, why? They have a Levite with them. Hugh Nibley pointed this out in the Book of Mormon and found it curious that the Zoramites always retained a separate ethnic identity throughout the Book of Mormon. What is the conclusion? It is my belief that Zoram was a Levite, and I think Nephi makes that expressly clear by mentioning treasuries 500 times in 3 verses. And that he was the one that had the key to the treasury, which is the responsibility of a Levite, and then the sacrifices changed implicitly after they got Zoram with them, and the fact that Nephi didn't run away from Zoram, but tried to get Zoram to follow him, I think all give us clues and hints that Zoram was indeed a Levite. Once again, we have Joseph Smith putting information into the Book of Mormon, which fills in gaps that would have obvious implications to an ancient Israelite, but unknown to a modern American. If Joseph Smith was writing this, this would be the first thing he would point out as evidence of its truthfulness, but he never even mentions these details.